Well, hey there, welcome. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations. Thanks for joining me today. Today's craft is all about this tray that I thrifted. Now, it's not actually a tray, it's got hanging hardware on the back and just a couple of alligator clips. I actually just did a video saying I'm not sure that that's what they're called and I never verified. So I'm still calling them alligator clips. So it's done kind of as a hanging message center. That's not how we're gonna use it. I don't mind how it's finished. So assuming I don't damage it removing these clips, I don't have to repaint. So I'm hoping. The weird thing about these clips is that they're not attached with a screw. I got a screwdriver thinking I could just pop them off with a screw. With a screwdriver. No, they're a grommet. So they've been attached in there. So what I am looking at doing is trying to slip my palette knife, my scraper tool under there just to kind of start to loosen them up a bit and hopefully not create many scrapes that I need to cover. And then when I get this loose enough that I can start to fit some pliers under there, I can pull it apart and get this out. Now, I thrifted this for $6. It had a tag on the back from HomeSense for $21.99, I think. And then it's never been used. So these are just tacked down with a little bit of sticky on the back. I'm gonna save the clips because, of course, and then I'm gonna pull you in overhead once I get these removed. So the only thing that I have to worry about is that I do have these definite holes. I'll have 3 of them. These 2 up here shouldn't be too big of an issue. This one for sure. This one maybe. This one definitely. So I'm gonna have to do something to cover those. But what I am thinking of doing is a hanging kind of heart-shaped floral. I don't know if I went through this before. If it's heart-shaped, can it be a wreath? So a door hanger, wall hanger kind of thing. It has hanging hardware on the back, but I may look to see if I need to attach anything else in case somebody wants to use it on their door. So let me pop these other 2 off and, you know, just kind of coincidental. I don't know how I damaged this guy in the process, but I did. But just kind of coincidental that you see how to undo the grommets. I just thought they'd be screws. Before I get started on the front, I just wanted to show you that it does have, and you can see that they're still all taped over. They have these double picture hooks. So if somebody wants to hang it on the wall without the cording, they could easily put nails in. What I am doing is just slipping a little piece of a dollar store cord into the back under those hangers. And I'm just going to tie a big enough knot that catches there, just so that if somebody wants it on the door, they can hang it this way. They can even do that from their wall if they want, using this, shorten it if they need to, but then they have options on how to use it. Okay. For this, I want to take advantage of the heart shape, and I want to do something different than just going down the left, which is typically what we would do with a wreath if we weren't doing the full circle. And so what I've done is I've pulled some florals from the stash, and these are all either dollar store florals or thrifted florals. And I have some longer stems if I need. And I also have this bundle of eucalyptus greens that I got. These are faux, but they look awesome. And I got those thrifted too. I got them in a big bundle, which I gotta tell you, I mean, that just made my day. That was just a happy find. And what I'm thinking of doing roughly is the idea that we'll kind of focus on this heart shape, right? Meaning that, let me see if I can bend these a little bit. Not really. Okay. So taking advantage of this kind of formation, I want you to still be able to see the rounds, right? Now, obviously I have to come down further with stuff here to make sure I'm covering that over, but that's where some of my greenery, some of my other little blossoms can come in, because I can have them poking down underneath. So, and maybe just even a big leaf down here. So I've got some greenery. And cutting back some of these and having them come down the sides. So I think that the first thing that I'm going to want to do is kind of commit to cutting these flowers off. And I'm going to want to cut them fairly flush so that I can, there we go, get a better idea. And you know, I like to lay everything out before I start gluing. So, you know, gluing just is kind of a little more permanent. I want to be able to zhuzh them around. And I'm just cutting off all those leaves from the stems so that I can incorporate them in. And if not to this project, to another project. So I definitely save all of those. Now I kind of like that. I don't know if I'd need 2 of them to balance off this big floral. So that's what I'm waiting to see. And I still have another 2 if I need it, right? So what we're looking to do here is just, oh Lord, come on. Oh, it's a big honking stem. that was a thick one. All right. So you can see these little guys. I might need to have 2 of those. Let me just cut one more off and take a look. Yeah, that might balance that a little bit better, I think, having the 2 of those in there. And I'm standing up and doing this so that I can kind of look down at it. A little bit of green peeking out here and there. Just looking to see. You know what? I thought I got out a bunch of other florals thinking that I would need lots for this, and I'm kind of thinking I might not. This might be one of those things that you just want to keep rather simple, you know? Okay, so I'm just wondering about, before I glue anything down, kind of curving some of this down around that edge. And the same on this side. And then tucking some in. You know what? I'm already kind of sold on this. Just the simplicity of it. So I'm thinking, I'm kind of committed to this. I kind of like this. I may add some other little florals in, but I think I'm going to start with gluing this down. And what I will do is glue the greenery down first, and then the florals over top. So let me get that all glued down, and then we'll come back and we'll start to kind of play with the composition even further. But what I find is if I have the base, the big ones kind of in mind, if I glue them down, then I can start playing with tucking smalls in here and there to see about balancing color. But if I start messing with the smalls and I have them all loose and the big ones loose, I lose the composition when I go to glue. Okay, these are glued down, but what I decided is I had two of these flowers that I really needed to have more of that color. So I cut that one, my extra one, apart into just the individual little stems with the idea that they maybe need to kind of get tucked in here to balance out this color, and that we may have a couple. Let me see. Well, I like you up here instead, because it's got the big floppy flower there. And then the more compact one down here. And you're a little compact one. Perfect. Okay, and then I think just a little bit more green. I don't like that space. I'm looking at it going, I don't like you. Okay, let me just see. And I'm looking at maybe this guy. They're tucking a little bit up there. Yep. Okay, so I like that little bit there. I still want to have that kind of defines that heart arch for me. That makes me happier. I want to keep that heart look as something a little bit different. These are the leaves from these big kind of peony type flowers. These are what, hydrangeas, right? I'm not super flower savvy. I just know the shapes, what I like. So I'm kind of digging that. I have some other little stems. Do I want to tuck just a little bit coming here of the eucalyptus? Maybe. Okay, I'm kind of digging that, guys. I think I'm sold. Okay, I'm gonna start gluing this down. Okay, let's take a final look at this. Now, I have to tell you, if you start with a base like I did that's pretty much already done for you, this is super fast. Just pull some blooms that are all kind of in colors that go together. So whether you're doing this in like the soft blush pinks, or you're doing it in reds, or you're doing it yellows and oranges, it really doesn't matter. Hold them together in a bouquet. If the bouquet goes, it works. So then it's a question of laying it out and just creating balance. So I still have glue threads to pick off. So here's our finished heart. What I wanted to do is ensure that it still stayed in a heart shape. Otherwise, what was the point? I've left a lot of white space. I mean, certainly somebody could add a sentiment in there if they wanted to, you know, if they're putting it on their door, they can say welcome, you know, home, family, love, whatever they want. But I do find, and this is something to keep in mind if you are a booth owner or a store owner or something, words limit the sale very often. Because if the words don't speak to the customer, the rest of it could look great, and but then they don't buy because, you know, the word love doesn't resonate for them, or home, or welcome, or family, or whatever it happens to be. So I have a tendency not to put the word on, and then when they are looking to purchase it from me, and they're asking about it. I give them suggestions about how they could add it, where they could get it, if I could do it for them, right? I have the options. Now, because I have a store and I'm here all the time when they're purchasing, it's a little bit different for me, but easy enough to do. Or I also just suggest that they can get the rub-on letters from any of the, I was going to say stationery stores, but any of the craft stores that are selling scrapbooking supplies. There's all kinds of those templates. Just get some letters that they like and then add them to it. The idea with this was, again, that heart shape. So from a design element perspective, we have the greenery coming down a little bit longer, emphasizing that curving into toward the point. We've got the heaviest floral here in the center, but you can see when I just had those soft pink blooms, it really needed the same little pieces of this to add that similar color to kind of anchor it. Very simple. Quite honestly, the piece that took me the longest was getting those grommets off. They'd just be screws. The rest of this, because I just pulled from my stash, I didn't have to run out and buy. These ones, this one I just bought. These peonies I just bought from the dollar store the other day. I didn't know what I was going to do with them because I didn't even own this. I just picked this up this week. But I just thought those peonies were an awesome color and that they look peonies. These are the hydrangeas. So I thought the hydrangeas were an awesome color and really lent themselves to a lot. The little peonies, I've had these guys, these little guys, cut down forever. I think that there's even photos of some of the pieces of furniture. I had 5 of these sitting in individual little mason jars that I had done just for some staging on some furniture photos. So now I don't. I stole them and I use them, but that's the way it goes. Let me know what you think of this one, guys. Let me know if you're challenged in creating balance, if this makes sense. How else would you have arranged it? What did I do that you're going, oh, wrong spot? I would have put that here. I'm good with that. I welcome suggestions and criticism the same as anybody else. Thanks for tuning in. This is a quickie. Really, the layout and gluing took me maybe 20 minutes. So this was a very quick one and done kind of craft. Thanks. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, take care.